So, we hear it all the time, right? AI is this incredibly powerful thing. But what if I told you that its true potential is kind of being held back? That there's this one fundamental problem that, if we solve it, could unlock a massive leap forward for the whole field. Think about it like this. Imagine the smartest person on Earth, but they're stuck in a room with no internet, just a library of old books. That's pretty much the state of most AI models today. They're basically trapped in a digital box, totally cut off from all the live external data and tools that would make them actually useful in the real world. I mean, they can't check the current status of a project in your company's database. They can't peek at a file on your local machine. And they definitely can't pull the latest info from, say, a breaking news API. So what happens? This disconnect means the AI is constantly working with outdated generic information, and that really limits how accurate and useful it can be for, real-world stuff. Okay, so how do we bust that AI out of its box? Well, the solution is what you could call a universal bridge for AI. It's called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short, and it's designed to do one thing: connect any AI to that huge world of tools and data that lives outside of its own digital brain. So what exactly is MCP? At its core, it's a standardized framework. It lets AI models to securely and scalably hook into all those external tools and data sources, and it does it in real time. Now, the magic word here is standardized, because instead of having to build a new custom-made connection for every single tool out there, which is a nightmare, by the way, we get one universal plug that just works. And its goals are pretty simple, but they're incredibly powerful. First up, it standardizes how AIs and data sources talk to each other, so everyone's speaking the same language. It also enables live, real-time access to up-to-the-minute information. And maybe most importantly, it just simplifies that whole messy web of integrations. This makes it way faster to roll out AI that can actually do stuff for you no matter what industry you're in. All right, so let's pop the hood and see how this thing is actually built. The whole MCP architecture really comes down to three key players that work together. You've got hosts, clients, and servers. And as you can see here, these three parts have very clear jobs. The host, that's the user interface, the part you actually see and interact with, like a chat window in VS Code. The server is on the other end. It's the direct connection to the tool, API, or database you want to talk to. And right in the middle, you have the client. Think of it as the communication bridge, the translator that manages the whole conversation. This diagram really helps visualize the whole flow. So you, the user, you type in a prompt. That prompt goes to the host. The host figures out where it needs to go and sends it to the right client. The client then acts like a translator, taking your request and passing it along to its dedicated server. That server is the one that actually goes out and talks to the external tool. Could be your local files, could be a remote database. And then it sends the information all the way back. And it communicates in two main ways, depending on what it's trying to connect to. For anything that's local, right there on your machine, it uses Studio. You can just think of that as a direct internal pipeline. But for anything out there on the web, like remote databases or APIs, it uses HTTP plus SSE, which is, the standard language of the internet. This two-pronged approach is what gives it the flexibility to connect to pretty much anything, anywhere. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's get our hands dirty and see how you can set this up and put it to work inside a tool that a ton of us use every day, VS Code. Believe it or not, the setup process is super straightforward. You're basically just going to create a folder, whip up a simple configuration file, flick a switch to enable it in your AI assistant like GitHub Copilot, and then run a quick test to make sure everything's talking to each other. That's it. And here's what those first few steps actually look like. You just create a new folder in your project called .vscode. Then, when you go to add a new server, you get this simple little drop-down menu. Since we're connecting to a local tool, we just choose Command/Studio. Seriously, it's that easy. And once that's configured, check this out. The new server just pops right up in your GitHub Copilot Tools menu. You click one little checkbox, and boom, Copilot suddenly has a new superpower. It's just seamlessly integrated into the tools you're already using every day. The final check? Just as simple. You run one quick script, and you get this beautiful confirmation right there in your terminal. MCP server is reachable and working. And that's it. The bridge has been built. You're connected. All right, so the setup is easy. We get it. But what's the payoff? What can you actually do with this connection now that our AI is no longer trapped in its box? Well, this is where things get really cool. Well, for starters, you can do real-time research. In this example, the user's asking Copilot to find academic papers on retrieval augmented generation. And look at that. The AI, using its new MCP connection, goes out to a live database, finds 215 matching papers, and spits back the top results right there in the chat. And let me be clear, this isn't stuff it learned from its training data months ago. This is happening live. And it's not just limited to text. This connection is multimodal. You can ask the AI to, say, find the best image generation models out there. And through MCP, it can connect to them directly and create a brand new image for you based on nothing but your prompt. Now, these examples are pretty cool, but they're also pretty developer-focused. And honestly, they're just the tip of the iceberg. This ability to connect AI to live tools and data, it unlocks a whole new wave of powerful automation. So let's think bigger for a second, across pretty much every industry you can imagine. I mean, just think about the possibilities. For developers, this could mean automating code reviews on GitHub. For customer support teams, imagine an AI that can tap into your live CRM to give genuinely personalized, up-to-the-minute answers. In healthcare, it could securely access patient data to assist with diagnoses. We're talking about connecting AI to the tools we all use every single day, Slack, Google Drive, you name it, and creating some truly intelligent workflows. This quote here really just nails it. MCP helps us build AI systems that aren't just intelligent, but are also context-aware and scalable. In other words, they can understand what's happening right now, and they can grow with you as your needs change. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. MYCP matters. It matters because it's a unified standard, and that means we can finally stop building all these crazy, one-off custom integrations. It's scalable, which makes it super easy to add new tools as you go. And maybe the most important part, it massively improves accuracy by giving AI the one thing it's always been missing: real-time, relevant context from the world around us. You see, by breaking AI out of its box, MCP isn't just some technical upgrade. It's a fundamental paradigm shift. It's what transforms AI from being this static, know-it-all encyclopedia into a dynamic, active partner that can actually do things with us. So the real question we have to ask ourselves now is, now that AI can securely connect to anything, what are we going to build next?